Тоже, блядь, если его предать, я к нему приду.
Hello consumers, this is Altari, the professional gamer, with you here in the company's quarantine wing. While I might be slightly under the weather, the developers of Pax Dei sure do know how to brighten my day up. Yes, today they dropped another big information dump about building along with over 2.5 minutes of uninterrupted, new, never-before-seen gameplay footage. There are some really cool tidbits dropped, including some information about monetization. Be sure to stick to the end where we will have information on the first ever professional gamer sponsored community competition coming up in a couple of weeks. If you enjoy our video and want to support our small startup channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our video to get the word out there. As always, we have split the video into sections, so feel free to skip around as you see fit. Let's get to it. So for this video, we are going to overview the new building FAQ. The professional gamer is fairly confident we will be seeing more raw game footage posted in the near future, so be sure to hit that bell and be notified when we post our next video doing a deep dive on building gameplay. To start off, what are the ground rules for building in Pax Dei? Firstly, you can't just build anywhere in Pax Dei. Player building happens only in the Heartlands and is not allowed outside of them. The developers also mentioned that for the time being, all roads that exist in Pax Dei will be pre-populated onto the map. As a result, there will be a restriction to building on or around the Premade road network. Building underground will also not be allowed, so sorry if you're looking to make the mines of Moria in Pax Dei.
And they call it a mine. A mine!
As we suspected from previous screen captures and in-game footage, the developers also confirmed that you will be able to build near water and confirmed that bridges, in some cases, can be a result. These building restrictions carry to not allow building in front of a dungeon entrance, because there are already enough What about for PvP areas? The developers stated to stay tuned for a future PvP FAQ to discuss building and PvP in the future. We see this as confirmation that there will be some sort of mechanic that allows the building or capture of structures in PvP zones. It is entirely possible that these can be player created or be more stationary pre-existing locations with upgradable buildings. This is all headcanon though, so we'll just have to wait and see in a future developer update. The developers next outlined what you need to build and what happens if you abandon your creation. They confirmed that while building only happens on plots, that you do not expressly need to own your own plot to build. In other words, the permission system in Pax Dei is going to allow plot owners to give permissions to other players, possibly even seceding control of their plot in part to a friend or clan. If someone tears down their plot, then all items left behind become free game. The teardown implies that your plot will be tied to some buildable object that you place as a player, like a flag or something. In other words, plot ownership will be tied to a physical in-game object, it seems. The developer also noted that you will never be allowed to claim another player's building, at least not if they're active. For plots and permissions, Mainframe stated as long as you have permissions, you can build your home on someone else's plot. Where this would be an issue, and somewhere I think I would like to hear the developers speak more towards, is what happens if you are granted access to build on someone else's plot and then they revoke your permissions at a later time. Can they just take all of your stuff? This will probably become a hot topic in the future, so I look forward to the discussions with the community about it. Speaking of, when asked if you can block access to your plot, it was stated that you cannot restrict access to the land itself. but anything you build can have access restricted. People will not be able to come to your plot and outright steal from you, but anyone who you give the appropriate permissions to will be able to take what they have access to. So make sure you have a strong circle of trust, consumers.
But I will be watching you, studying your every move. I will bring you down, baby. I will bring you down to Chinatown.
Now, the FAQ moved forward onto buildings themselves and the mechanics around them. The only constraint to the number of structures you can build is the area you have to build in. Mainframe confirmed that each player with a paid account will have one plot available, with other mechanisms to acquire more also planned. This is huge, as we have our first glimpse at monetization in Pax Dei. Firstly, the distinction of a paid account. This implies that there will also be a non-paid, i.e. free account type. Furthermore, if there are additional mechanisms, perhaps there are different tiers of account that grant additional plots to a player. Maybe it is tied to subscriptions or is a single purchase. If it is a single purchase, it will be interesting to see how the developers have planned for alt accounts and ways to limit malicious use to circumvent the game systems. If you can gain additional slots, is there a cap? If there is a cap, how do you prevent alt accounts from circumnavigating it? Will there be a subscription to maintain these plots, or will they be one-time purchases? What do you all think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Monetization is a hot topic, so don't forget to be respectful, consumers. Mainframe then outlined building as a whole. They confirmed that no structures are pre-made and that the player will have to respect the laws of nature with a physics system supporting structures. They also stated that they intend to have many different building sets added to the game to be able to make an endless variety of unique structures in-game, but this will most definitely not be a complete feature by the time the game becomes widely available. This is exciting, as it will really allow for different cities and villages to have their own character and aesthetic. Certain kingdoms or empires can eventually adopt guidelines for all their cities to carry a visual identity in-game. The fact that this won't be available at general availability is good news no matter how you look at it. Either that means that general availability is happening sooner rather than later, or the amount of planned variety in building pieces is so large that it is going to take quite some time. Win-win. Lastly, in this section, the developer, when commenting on how forgiving the building system is, stated they are still discussing internally how much resources you recoup. I personally love how Valheim building is 100% forgiving, as it really removes the constraints on players' creativity. If something doesn't work, you can tear it down and try again. If anything, a time delay where the first couple of hours of placing you receive 100% of the materials back, and it scales back your return based on how long it has been placed down for, would be a nice, happy medium. The only issue would be tracking individual placements like that for the server. Now, the developer moved on to plot decay and moving your plot. The first question, and very important one at that, is what happens if someone leaves your clan and their plot was used to make a giant clan structure like a castle? While the developers don't have an exact answer yet, they are planning to implement mechanisms to allow retention of the plot. This is reassuring, as I can see the drama of people leaving, or a small group fracturing from a larger clan and weaponizing their plot could be a serious issue. In terms of actually moving your plot, you can move it at any time, but it seems as though you must move all the items and structures from your plot to the new one. Carts and caravans, here we come. Another great question the developer answered is what happens if someone tries to block the area your clan is building? They said this is totally allowable currently, and it would be up to the players to work it out with each other. They did remind us that the game supports cooperativity in the Heartlands, so the players would only be hurting themselves. While I love the laissez-faire attitude behind this, I do believe that in a game where competition exists, players will go so far as to purchase additional plots or buy alternate accounts just to go and block other groups. Having some kind of activity timer or just active in-game moderators to help with this kind of activity will be critical, as circumnavigating systems to take away fun from others is never okay. Another way to help would be an inactivity system. Mainframe stated that they are looking into ways to set up a grace period on a plot, but also make a way for the player to be able to recoup their plot once they return to not make it a massive deterrent. If a structure is truly abandoned, players will be able to take resources from those structures. It sounds like there will be some obvious notifications to the player before this happens, however. The last section that the developer spoke about was housing and decorations. Mainframe has stated that you will be able to make decorative items and furniture, some of which you will be able to interact with. The amount of content available in-game right now is not extensive, but they plan to add a lot more in the future. The furniture can also be useful, like torches to light up the dark nights in Pax Dei. All decorations and furniture will be provided by the game, and there's no mention of player-created models currently. Lastly, the developer mentioned that the player will be able to customize their clan's heraldry in-game and display it on their buildings and armor. Additionally, the type of material that you use to craft different items in-game might affect their appearance. In other words, if you use beechwood to make a table, it would look different than if you used maple. This level of customization can make a market for rare types of materials from specific regions to craft certain pieces of furniture and buildings. That is all the new information that has been dropped about building in Pax Dei. A quick announcement: the Professional Gamer is proud to announce our first community competition. Yes, in celebration of the new building FAQ, we are sponsoring a building competition in Valheim. This will be a very entertaining event for the Pax Dei community, and signing up is very easy. You can sign up individually or as a team with up to a total of 4 players per team. If you and your team want to compete, please join the Professional Gamer Discord linked down below, click on the Pax Deiheim Building Competition tab, and react to sign up. The competition will occur on Saturday, May 6th. There will be multiple awards and various challenges throughout the competition to keep it fun and engaging. More details will be over on the Professional Gamer Discord, so head over there to check it out and sign up. Additionally, the first 100 consumers to join the Discord will earn the exclusive early adopter tag as appreciation for joining us so early on. That's it for this video. If you like what you saw, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. This is Altari, the Professional Gamer. Thanks for watching.